the innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
In time.
Good evening and welcome to Roosevelt High School on the west side of Sioux Falls, South Dakota for some boys basketball action here on Live Ticket TV. Tonight it is the Roosevelt Rough Riders hosting the Huron Tigers. Thank you so much for joining us alongside the guru of South Dakota high school sports, Jason Andera. I am David Brown. This is an intriguing matchup, Jandy, as we start the final month of regular season play. Huron, they're 8-4 with some quality wins, including one at Mitchell earlier this season, and they've been competitive in all 12 games they've played so far. Meanwhile, Sioux Falls Roosevelt, they're just 4-9, but their last 3 losses have come by a combined 8 points. So this is a quality matchup for both the Tigers and the Rough Riders.
Yeah, I think AA basketball, you don't really know what you have as a team until – about this week, next week, and then you make that push into the playoffs. And teams that start out bad still have a chance to make up some ground. We saw that last week, all the different stuff going on across AA in the state. I think Roosevelt's one of those teams nobody wants to see because they have made some huge improvements. And Huron is a team, their stars are young, but they've got seniors in the lineup as well. So they're really an intriguing team, too, that could be really good.
Let's get a closer look at each of these squads, starting with Huron. And there's no question where the ball's going to end up for the Tigers.
Yeah, this has really been 2 players that have taken the ball the majority of the year. Blake Elwine, Anderson Porridge. Elwine, a junior, he was an all-state player as a sophomore last season, and Porridge has really stepped up this year as the 1B type of guy. And it's all because of Tim Budenhagen. He's done a great job coaching this for years. He's been with the Huron organization for decades, but has just taken over 2 years ago as the head coach at Huron after taking a stint as the girls basketball coach to coach his daughters throughout. So a really well-respected program here. They have had some inconsistencies, a couple of 2-game winning streaks, a 3-game winning streak, but they really haven't piled a lot of victories together, keep getting tripped up, and they haven't beaten a Sioux Falls team yet. I know that doesn't mean a lot, just because you haven't beaten Sioux Falls, but this is their 3rd trip now to Sioux Falls, and they would love to get a victory here in the big city.
Huron has been good in general, though, away from the friendly confines of Huron Arena. They are 4-2 so far on the road this season. As for Sioux Falls Roosevelt, there are a lot of guys who have shown the ability to produce, but it's the 6'4 junior Memphis Bylander whose game has really picked up.
He has. His average is only 10 points a game, but the way he played last year kind of expected him to come out and be the man for Roosevelt this year. Well, the last 4 or 5 games, he has been the man. A couple of 20-point games, some consistent 15-point games. He's done very well as their man. And then you've got Jamari Target come off the bench as their second leading scorer. He's been an injection of great play. And then Isaiah Garang and so many others that can show up on a nightly basis. They don't have a ton of consistency in their starting 5 besides Bylander and Tiger, but a lot of good athletes. And a couple things to note here. The rotation started out, they tried to figure out who's going to be in the starting lineup, who's coming off the bench, and they've really calmed that down the last 5 games, same starters every week, and that win over O'Gorman really vaulted them up to say, hey, we can beat anybody on the schedule, and like you mentioned earlier, their last 2 games, really close losses. They felt like they had a shot against Mitchell and against Jefferson and just couldn't close them out.
I mentioned Huron's good road record. Roosevelt, they have just not had a lot of time here at home. This is just their 4th home game of the season. They're 1-2. That one win, though, being that O'Gorman game you mentioned back on January 25th. When we get a look at the overall numbers for these teams, let's call it the tail of the tape, and look how these teams stack up from a number standpoint.
Well, offensively, Huron has been a much better team than Roosevelt. Roosevelt playing decent on the defensive side, but a Mitch Begeman team you expect to be a little more high energy on the defensive side. Maybe haven't risen to the level that they did in 21 and 22 when they were dominating on defense, winning titles. So I think that's the thing to look for here. The difference And Huron, honestly, has had trouble with some quick teams recently. Roosevelt is a quick team. That should make this a really good matchup. But when you see the tail of the tape on the paper, both very similar in field goal percentage and in three-point percentage, it's actually Roosevelt who can really heat it up. Huron has been very inconsistent beyond the arc. So we'll see how they handle it if they get into some quick possessions.
You got a chance to catch up with both coaches. It's time for Inside the Huddle with Huron's Tim Budenhagen and Roosevelt's Mitch Begeman. Who you want to start with first?
We'll start with Tim Budenhagen. Talked to him just an hour or so ago, and he talked about his inconsistencies with his team, about Blake Elwine's progression, and about what they have their hands full with Roosevelt tonight.
Door in the starting lineup, and now we're just starting to get guys back, so we're just starting to get a rhythm back offensively and defensively. And then we're playing a lot of guys. We're trying to find different combinations that are going to work. We got a lot of younger guys that need some time, so we've been rotating a lot of guys, trying to get guys some rhythm and then figure out roles so down the stretch that we'll be ready to make a run.
Got it. Talk to me a little bit about Blake and his development from last year to this year. Looks like he's passing it more. Looks like he's shooting better. I mean, everything looks a little better, but you tell me.
Yeah, he's gotten bigger, stronger. His skills, he's got a unique skill set for 6'9". He can guard a guard. He can go inside, guard a post. He just creates havoc on the defensive end, which we need because when we funnel guys to him, he's got to make defensive plays. And then on the offense, unique because he can get us into our offense. We don't have to rely on a guard. So the other team's got to make a decision. Are you going to put a big on him? Are you going to put a guard? And that'll dictate how we attack teams.
I assume you've looked at Roosevelt a little bit. They've had some close ones. They're probably a little better than their record. Is that what you found?
Yeah, athletic. They get up and down. They're big in the inside. They got some length to them. Bylander and Tiger, they really make them run. So we got to make sure that we know where those guys are at. Keep the ball out of the paint, find shooters. The athletic teams give us a little problem, so we got to work it out for us tonight.
So all together, what's the key to tonight?
Tonight, we got to keep the ball in the middle of the paint. We got to know where the shooters are, and we got to be able to match up inside one-on-one.
That was Huron's Tim Budenhagen. Lots of interesting thoughts, and now we'll get a listen to the home side of Mr. Begeman.
Yeah, Mitch Begeman's basically encouraged by the way his team's played. I had a chance to catch up with him yesterday. Here's what he said.
Well, I would describe this season as kind of a up and down season for this basketball club. But I would say from about a month ago to now, I think we've climbed mountains, to be honest with you. And I'm really proud of kind of where we've gotten to. I think the first part of the season for us was just really kind of finding out who we really were. We had to develop some chemistry. And on top of that, when you have a difficult schedule like we did, we started with Jefferson and then we played O'Gorman and then Brandon, and then you come back and you get to play Lincoln and Washington. And so I think a lot of that was just kind of figuring out really who we were and who we could play. And we have a lot of guys, and so we kind of spent that first majority of the season just figuring all that out, and that takes time. And then obviously as of late, I felt like we really kind of started coming together, around that before Yankton week. We felt like we kind of started to figure some things out, and we went down there and played well, and then we came back and hosted O'Gorman on Saturday, and we played probably our best basketball this season. But I think since that week, we've really just kind of figured out, we can compete with anybody. And I'm excited to see where we can go for these last 7 games.
And then just Huron, a team that's in the upper half of AA. It'll be a good challenge for you. What do they present that has your attention?
They're a good basketball team, and I think when you think about Huron, you think about the Elwine kid, right? And he's been playing basketball for a long time at the varsity level, and he's only a junior, and so we know we have to limit him. He's averaging 20 points a game. He shoots he averages 10 free throws a game, and so you really have to control how much he gets there. He's going to score. He's going to find ways to do it, but you really got to contain him and really make him kind of play from the perimeter. The Porsche kid also, Anderson Porsche, he's a sophomore for him and a really strong, nice player that, you look at him and you can tell he's been playing for quite some time too, but very skilled player and does a lot of really good things for him. But then you got just some role players that they have. They know their roles. They know they have to find those 2 kids, every time down. And so, but but you still got to guard them as well. They're a tough, hard-nosed, well-coached team that will do a lot of different things defensively at you, and so you have to adjust and just know that, you know, whatever they come at you, you got to just be patient and make them have to guard. And so for us, it's really about the defensive end and rebound the basketball. That's kind of our MO every single night is if we can defend and we can keep teams off the glass, we got a good chance to be in every game that we play. So that's just our two things, and then offensively just continue to get better. You know, we've got some guys stepping up that have played really well lately. Memphis Bylanders, I think, averaging over 15 points a game the last 5 games, and been really a bright spot. Jamari Tiger's another kid that comes off the bench that's shot it well for us, and so just trying to find that consistency with a number of guys each and every night that you can lean on and get points from.
We will take a short break for our national anthem. Huron and Roosevelt coming up next. It is Huron and Sioux Falls Roosevelt. Boys matchup set to get underway momentarily here on the west side of Sioux Falls. David Brown, Jason Andera with you here. Should be an interesting matchup, as I mentioned off the top. Huron has the better record, but Roosevelt has had a lot of close calls recently. Of course, a road game for Huron. They've been good away from Huron. Roosevelt, just their 4th game in this gym so far this season. So those first couple minutes will be interesting to see how both teams play it out.
Yeah, this Huron team, you know, they've been really not consistent all season long, but they've been able to beat some of the better teams on their schedule so far this year. They did lose to Washington. They've lost to Jefferson, lost to Lincoln, but they're one of the few teams that has taken Mitchell down this season. And Roosevelt just went toe-to-toe with Mitchell. So we know these teams have the potential to be in the cream of AA by the time this thing's said and done. Huron, by the way, just got back into the top 5, tied for 5th in the rankings that just came out Monday.
Tied at 5th with Sioux Falls, Washington in that Class AA poll. Brandon Valley taking the top spot right now. Huron with 8 wins this season, a couple against Brookings, also against Rapid City Central and Stevens, Harrisburg, Watertown, Yankton, and as you mentioned, one of the few teams that has beat Mitchell. Your starters for Huron look like this: Trace Wenz, number 10, Colton McNeil, number 12, Bubba Peterson, number 24, Anderson Porsche, number 32, and then the man averaging more than 21 points per game, number 30, Blake Elwine.
Yeah, Blake Elwine's definitely the one to watch here. He has been the leader on the team in scoring, rebounding, three-pointers, assists. He's consistent from the outside. He gets to the free throw line 10 times a game almost, so definitely one to watch in the middle.
Elwine had 21 points to match his season average on Thursday against Yankton. Moving to the other side, your home starters for Sioux Falls Roosevelt looks like this. Number 0, Deng Quick. Number 2, CJ Schmaus. Number 10, Memphis Bylander. Number 11, Akeem Moko. And number 21, Micah Kranzler.
Well, we talked about it. After Roosevelt has shifted their lineup around all season long, they've settled on these 5 players as their most consistent to start games. And Micah Kranzler, one of those guys in the starting lineup who hasn't started all season long, he has a calming effect. He knows his role out there. And Memphis Bylander has really stepped up his scoring. So I like the chemistry of this starting 5.
4-9 record for Roosevelt this season. Their wins coming against Rapid City Stevens and Rapid City Central, and then back-to-back wins on back-to-back nights against Yankton, and their most recent win coming January 25th in a big home victory over O'Gorman by the score of 62-49. As you said, this is a Roosevelt team that's finally figured out what lineup works best for them.
Yeah, and Mitch Begeman, he knows that, he's had some more talented teams, but he said this is a really talented team. We just don't have the 1 or 2 guys at the top that we can rely on like we have in the past. But he really likes the improvement they made. Like we just heard from him in the opening, he's really climbed some mountains this season so far.
Tap is won by Huron. We are underway. Tigers in the road black uniforms with the orange numbers. Roosevelt in the home white uniforms with the maroon numbers. This is Anderson Porsche at the top of the key, being guarded by Micah Kranzler. Bubba Peterson. First touch of the game for Elwine. Skips it over. Here's Wenz. Peterson will launch a deep shot. That one off the front iron. Rebound eventually corralled by Deng Quick.
Yeah, the three-point game is not Huron's game, and good defense that time to force a long shot on the first possession.
CJ Schmaus working off a screen. Kranzler going inside to Moko. And Moko, the foul will be on the floor.
Akeem Moko, he's one of those players who commands some attention, doesn't put up big, bulky numbers like you see some from some bigs in AA, but he definitely commands attention as a physical player on the inside.
Bubba Peterson picking up the foul for Huron. Here's Moko working against Elwine. Good defense by Elwine as he gets the strip.
There's that defense, that all-around game you're going to see from the junior Elwine.
Another touch on offense for Mr. Elwine. Working against Moko. Loses the handle, somehow got it back. Here's McNeil. Anderson Porish on the drive, spinning, working against Kranzler. Nice moves, couldn't finish. Gets his own miss, however. Can't finish a second time.
Well, you're going to see some defensive help. You saw it there. They're playing a man for the most part, but there are guys who are sinking to make sure Porish and Elwine don't beat them.
Deng Quick off the front iron on that triple. Rebound by McNeil, but then it's stolen by Bylander. He'll stop, pop, in and out.
Working the kinks out here on the first couple of possessions in the game for both of these teams. These aren't the 2 highest scoring teams in AA, but they can get hot.
Elwine doubled. Peterson straight on 3. That one off. Porish gets the rebound. Roosevelt fans wanting an over the back call. Instead, it will be a defensive foul on Micah Kranzler.
One of the reasons Kranzler's in there is that tough defense that he played, but that time on the way up, a little contact.
So here is Anderson Porsche, 6'5" sophomore for this Huron Tiger squad. Nothing but twine on that first free throw. 71% free throw shooter coming in. One substitution for the Tigers. Davis Chase coming in for Bubba Peterson.
It's a luxury for Huron to have some of these players off the bench. One of the smaller AA schools, but they have a deep roster, and they will rotate several players.
Porsche goes 2 for 2 for our first 2 points of the game. Here's Kranzler up top to Bylander. Bylander leading this Rough Rider team in scoring. Schmaus trying to work off a screen from Moko. Here is Akeem Moko on the block. Working against Chase. Tried to go up and under. Nice move by Akeem Moko.
Yeah, Moko, again, I told you he was not the main threat offensively, averaging about 5 points a game, but that time took advantage of the matchup.
6'5" senior is Moko. Mitch Begman saying he's stronger, much more physical this year than he has been in the past. Kranzler diving on the floor, bodies flying everywhere. And I believe it will be a loose ball foul on Colton McNeil for Huron.
McNeil missed a couple of games in January due to an ankle. He's back in there going 110 miles an hour.
Bubba Peterson back in the game now for Huron. Schmaus being doubled up top. Squirts through the double team. Good find underneath. Dang quick off a beautiful feed from Memphis Bylander.
Yeah, overall offensive IQ there was tremendous as they got rid of the ball and made another quick pass.
And then Chase lost it out of bounds. Backcourt pressure from the Rough Riders.
Heard Tim Buttenhagen say that they struggle with quick teams, and sometimes when they get sped up, they're not at their best. And that time, you saw him try to speed up a little bit, get it over the half court, and commit a big turnover.
A couple of substitutions in for Roosevelt. Jamari Tiger, number 12, who has the ball right now, along with Bryson Skogsberg, number 23. Bylander on the back cut. Roosevelt has scored 6 straight. Down low, Chase all alone with the left-handed layup.
Yeah, Jamari Tiger comes in off the bench. It's one of the first ones, but that was a matchup Huron can exploit. If they get Tiger in the post by himself, Huron's going to have a lot of inside hoops.
Schmaus being hounded up top by Elwine. Now it's Skogsberg. Inside, bump. Does not get the bucket, but he will go to the line.
Skogsberg, one of those guys, transferred in from Vermilion. He's just a sophomore this year. They expected a lot because they saw him play great in the summer last year. And it's taken him a little bit to get used to AA basketball, and started early in the year. Now coming off the bench, I think he's a lot more effective, a lot more relaxed than he was early in the season.
Skogsberg nailing the first. As you mentioned, just a sophomore at 6'3". Had 5 points in their game against Jefferson on Saturday. That was a tough game for Roosevelt. They were down by 10 in the first quarter, led at halftime, led by 9 in the third quarter, but couldn't finish it out.
Mitch Begeman said, I literally don't know how we lost that game. We had control of it. We were playing better. We had bounced back quickly off of a tough start to the game, but somehow Jefferson got him, and they got him twice this year.
Bubba Peterson going up over his defender. 7-6 Roosevelt over Huron midway through this first quarter. Tiger skipping it over to Schmaus. Schmaus lost the dribble, somehow got it back. Now it's Skogsberg on the block, working inside. Foul away from the ball. We'll get Peterson again, that's his second.
Yeah, one of the main rotation players, Bubba Peterson, picks up an early 2 fouls. And they're lucky at least at Blue Dead because Skogsberg almost had a nice pass to a streaking Kranzler. That would have been an easy 2.
Schmaus going over to the top to get that inbounds pass. Tiger pulls up, puts it in.
Tiger's playing so much better in the second half of this season. He, at times, is their best player on the court. Right now, definitely one of the most consistent shooters.
In the corner, that 3 is good from Trace Wenz.
He's made 14 threes on the year now. One of their three-point threats that they do have. Oh, here comes
up ahead, Blake Elwine for 2. Excellent transition from the Tigers.
That's what makes Blake Elwine so unique is he's so good in the open court for a 6'9 player. Plays like a true guard, even though he's got a huge frame.
Skogsberg will get to go to line once more. And that will be the second foul on Davis Chase as well. So some early foul trouble for Huron with both Chase and Peterson having 2.
And Chase, another, just a sophomore. He is a big, imposing figure on the inside. That means we'll see Carter Porsche, one of the younger Porsche brothers, Yep, it looks like he's going to check in. He's been improving all year long. He does not look like an 8th grader out there.
The lone 8th grader on this Huron Tiger squad. Number 50 checking in for Huron in place of Davis Chase. 1 of 2 for Skogsburg. Huron still leads by a point. 11-10 our score. Here is Carter Porish. Got his defender in the air. Couldn't finish, though. Rebound corralled by Isaiah Garong.
Yeah, we'll see how he shakes that off as an 8th grader. He knows he should have made that. Nice block.
Porish with the block. Elwine going leaping over his bench, which I'm sure in midair did not make anyone on the Huron side happy.
And it looked like he hit his head on the railing, but he walked right out as if nothing happened, so hopefully that is the case.
Elwine getting recruited by the D1 schools here. In fact, University of South Dakota head coach Eric Peterson is in the crowd this evening.
Yeah, Elwine just a junior, but this is the time where he's really trying to show his resume at the high school level. He's got a lot of people's interest peaked.
Floater. Off the mark, rebound for Colton McNeil. Elwine down low to Porish. Swinging around, Carter Porish for his brother Anderson. Anderson, spin. Nice job getting cut off. McNeil short on that 3. Excellent defense from Roosevelt.
Yeah, they're always coming back. They got help defense on the post, and that's the challenge. Can Colton McNeil and the guards hit from 3 when they have open looks like that?
That shot might have been partially blocked. They say not. Out of bounds over to Huron. Couple of subs in for Huron. Mason Juergens, number 23. Ty Kleinsasser, number 34. And then Carson Hoynes, number 24 for Sioux Falls Roosevelt.
Both these teams not afraid to go deep onto their benches. It's been a fun first quarter here, but we've seen more bench play than I expected in this first period.
Early foul trouble for Huron has necessitated some of that, as that pass from Elwine was a little too hot to handle.
Yeah, I think he was a little upset at Carter Porish for not being ready to receive that one, but we'll have to watch and see how Carter's confidence goes after a couple of mistakes here in the first quarter.
Skogsburg looking for someone, decides to drive it himself. We'll skip it over to Quick. Deng Quick. Caught in the corner. Somehow got it to Tiger. Tiger splitting the defense. Down low. Moko. Roosevelt turned nothing into something.
Well, they sure did, and give Jamari Tiger a lot of credit there for eyes in the side of his head to find Moko in the middle.
Elwine. Good ball movement from Huron. Swing it over. Carter Porish. Back to Anderson. Skip it over. Juergens. In and out on that triple. Loose ball foul on Roosevelt. I beg your pardon, it's against Huron. They're going to get Porish for over the back.
This Roosevelt defense is doing exactly what Mitch Begeman told me they were going to do, is make sure Huron doesn't get any easy shots on the inside and force the ball to go outside and try to make some shots. And that time, great defense, and they get a foul as well.
And I beg your pardon, it was Blake Elwine committing the foul, not Carter Porish. But that sends Skogsburg back to the line for free throw attempts 5 and 6. Unfortunately for him, he's only 2 of 5 at the stripe here in this first quarter. One of 2. It's a 13-11 lead here for Roosevelt over Huron. Shot clock is off. Final 20 seconds of this first quarter. Under 10 seconds for Ty Kleinsasser. Over to Wenz. Down low, Elwine, quick double. Elwine, the fadeaway, off the side of the backboard. And that is how this first quarter will come to a close. A little bit of back and forth, but after the first 8 minutes, it is Sioux Falls Roosevelt 13, Huron 11. We will take a quick timeout, come back with second quarter action after this.
Times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Welcome back. Second quarter about to get underway, but first it is our live Ticket TV Star Watch featuring Huron's Blake Elwine.
Well, this is one of the stars in the entire state. In fact, one of the better players we've seen come through South Dakota in the last several years. He, like we talked about, 6'9", really plays that guard position, can play the forward position as needed, but look at that, 21.3 points, 7.3 boards, 4 assists, 15 big threes, and the offers coming in from the D1 schools in-state, and D1 schools are not handing out a lot of offers to boys basketball, especially compared to girls basketball. So you know this is a guy that a lot of people see potential in.
Elwine and his team down by 2 here to start the second quarter. Nearly poked it away from Hoynes. Schmaus in the corner to Kranzler. Swing it over to the Quick. Rough Riders working it around the perimeter. Now it's Hoynes on the block. Swing it over. Quick for 3. Rebound by Wenz. Here is Elwine in transition. Lefty lay-in. In and out. Porish the offensive rebound. Elwine will try a triple this time and bury it.
So Blake Elwine showing off the range a little bit. When that first quarter came down and they didn't get the ball to Elwine until 3 seconds left, I think that was a mistake. They had a chance to let him create. I'd love to see them let him create a little bit more.
Memphis Bylander off on his corner 3. Offensive rebound by Quick. And then he was looking for Kranzler. Kranzler didn't realize it. Anderson Porish stripped by Schmaus. Numbers for Roosevelt. Schmaus all the way. Whoa. Rebound and putback missed by Bylander. That would have brought the house down. Hoynes can't get the 3.
You can see the springs that Memphis Bylander has as a sophomore last year. I saw him dunk for the first time and said, that guy is special in the physical department.
Anderson Porish was fouled on the drive inside. Carson Hoynes committing the personal foul for Roosevelt. So here is Porish again at the line. Hit 2 in the first quarter. Off the back iron on that one. Porish is Huron's second leading scorer on the season, just a shade under 10 points per game. He had 17 in their victory against Yankton last week.
Another guy that just doesn't look like a sophomore when he's on the court because he has a great basketball IQ. He's so smooth, knows exactly what he wants to do when he gets the ball. And that one, you can see the shot, nice looking shot as well.
Porish goes 1 for 2. It's a 2-point lead, 15-13 Huron over Roosevelt. Schmaus being hounded up top. Elwine tried to poke it away. It will stay with Roosevelt.
It's hard to trap Roosevelt sometimes. Some good ball handlers, some quickness. It's a good sign for the Tigers.
Schmaus over to Quick, down low to Kranzler. Quick sizing up Elwine, driving toward the middle. Now it's Moko. Quick stops, pops, mid-range is good. 15 apiece with 6 minutes to go here before halftime. They're going to get Bylander with the reach in here. Colton McNeil will inbound for Huron, right next to our good friend Mark Ovenden from Dakota News Now.
Always getting all the angles. He'll never retire.
Trace Wenz for three.
He's nailed 2 3-pointers in this one. Came into the game 13 of 47 from three.
Moko working inside against Chase. Doubled. Good defense from Huron as Wenz gets the steal. Up ahead to Bubba Peterson. Got caught a little too far.
Yeah, 2 possessions. I think both teams want back on the offensive side. Not a great pass by Moko and not a great shot on the other side for Huron.
Here's Bylander to Moko. Moko will drive inside. Working inside. Back to Schmaus. Nice find to Moko, plus the foul. Beautiful give and go between C.J. Schmaus and Akeem Moko.
Yeah, and Schmaus, that's one of the things that he's done since entering the starting lineup is provide those great looks on the inside because he's not afraid to drive himself on the inside. So once he's there, he's not only a threat, he's a threat to pass it. That time, Moko finished it. That's 6 early points for Moko. That's kind of a surprise for me because Huron is so big in the middle, and he's found a way to go over his average here in the first half.
And he completes the three-point play up to 7 now. As you said, already eclipsing a season average of 5.5 a contest. Schmaus poked it away from behind. Skogsberg up ahead. Bylander. Porish got a piece of that shot. Elwine. Maybe an ill-advised three. Chase tries to save it from going out of bounds, but doesn't. (18-18), 4:37 to go in the second quarter. Jamari Tiger on the drive. Somehow got it up over Porish.
One of my most favorite players to watch in high school basketball, Jamari Tiger. Great job.
The 5'8" Tiger over the 6'5" Porish. Wenz. Off on that three, rebound by Skogsberg. Schmaus directing traffic. Down low to Moko. Moko, a little too aggressive in the paint. It'll be an offensive foul.
It's hard to pick up an offensive foul that deep under the paint, but Trace Wentz held his ground against the bigger Moko. Got the ball back for his team.
Moko leading all scorers right now with 7. Wenz leading Huron with 6. Backcourt pressure being applied by the Rough Riders. Elwine gets it across the timeline. Wenz. Nice weave through traffic from Trace Wenz.
He's been comfortable out there. He was feeling it. 2 out of 3 on threes, and then a nice drive to the hoop there. Tie ball game once again.
3.5 minutes to go in this second quarter, 20-20. Tiger tried to swing it out to Bylander. Bylander knocked it off of Elwine.
A little out of control there as Tiger whipped it across the court. Bylander keeps it on this side of the court for Roosevelt. They should thank Memphis for a great play of that time.
Here is Bylander to Skogsberg. Bylander got some space, decided to drive. The crossover, working against Chase, and the finish.
That's the Memphis Bylander we've seen over the last 5 games for Roosevelt. Confident.
Here's Anderson Porish looking for Chase down low. Chase, believe he traveled. No, they're going to call a foul on the floor.
Davis Chase, another sophomore on this team. So they play several underclassmen. They rely on those 3 seniors who start, that's for sure. But this team continues to get better and better and more consistent as these underclassmen get more and more varsity time.
Elwine on the inbounds for Huron. Chase for 3. Off the front iron, rebound by Schmaus. Skogsberg will line up a 3. Juergens the board for Huron. Now it's Elwine in transition. Couldn't handle it, trying to go behind the back. And they're going to grant the timeout to Tim Budenhagen and the Huron Tigers. Roosevelt leads by 2, 22-20 with 2:25 to go in this second quarter. It's a 30-second timeout. We will keep it here.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Out here.
Last Thursday, the 30th.
This entire quarter has been within 2 points, Dave. It's never gotten a 3-point lead or more. This has been a lot of fun.
2 fairly evenly matched teams. They've both shown some signs on offense. They've also shown a little bit of sloppiness at times too. Elwine driving baseline. The floater's off. 2 minutes to go here before half. Kranzler for 3. Off the front iron. Roosevelt's gotten some good looks, Jenny. They just haven't knocked him down.
I think both teams have gone a little dry here at the end of this second quarter.
McNeil got caught on the baseline, gets it back out to Elwine.
Yeah, you don't see Elwine post people up. He's looking for an opportunity. There it is.
Bounce to McNeil. Beautiful find. The chase +1. Excellent execution from the Tigers.
Yeah, it's that hockey mentality, that 2 quick passes back-to-back that open it up for Chase. And he had thoughts about dunking that when he was trying to get it up in the air and did a great job of making sure he got 2.
Davis Chase, 6'7" sophomore. Chase attempting to complete the 3-point play and give Huron the lead, which he does. 23-22, 120, and counting. Schmaus on the drive. No one picked him up, and he put it in.
That was excellent. And that's what I'm talking about with C.J. Schmaus. Even though he's slight, not as tall as some of the big guards in this conference, he can go into the paint and come out with 2.
Elwine buries that triple. He's up to 8 now in this first half, is Blake Elwine. We're under a minute to go here in this second quarter. Schmaus fed it back out to Hoynes. Now it's Bylander. Carson Hoynes on the block. Bylander, that's a long 2 from the baseline, missed everything. 20 seconds to go. Shot clock is off for Huron. Tigers lead at 26-24. Final 10 seconds here of the second quarter. Porish over to Wenz. Chase looking down low. Anderson Porish. Blocked, but they're going to call a foul on Hoynes before the buzzer sounded.
You see that so often. You think you've got a block on the inside, but the refs are looking at everything. They're going to check the clock and see if there's, they're going to put .3 on it, I think is what he said.
Well, there'll definitely be some time put back on because that foul was well before the buzzer. And so we'll check here.
Well, 3 seconds they're going to put back on. 3.1.
3.1 seconds left, as you said, Jandy. Anderson Porish to the line. And they did correct it. It is 0.3 of a second now.
Okay.
Porish nails the first. Porish nails the second. He has 5 here in this first half.
All from the free throw line.
And that is the official end of the first half here at Sioux Falls Roosevelt. It's the road team Huron with a 4-point lead at 28-24 over the hometown Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders. We will take a timeout, come back before the start of the third quarter.
Here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
David Brown alongside Jason Andera. Interesting back and forth in that first half. Jandy, neither team really gained much of an edge For most of that second quarter, it was a one-possession game. A late foul and some late free throws give Huron this 4-point edge here as we enter the third quarter.
Yeah, it literally was back and forth within 2 points the entire quarter until the very end. What I've really been watching is how are they guarding Blake Elwine and Anderson Porsche, and they have held those two in check for the most part to 13 points. So Roosevelt giving up 13 points to their two leading scorers is definitely a win for them. But that being said, they're still losing this ball game because they're not knocking down some open shots. They've had the opportunity to have the lead in this game. The shooting percentage has not been great. They're going to have to make some more open jumpers if they want to get back into this game and take the lead.
Blake Elwine with 8 points in that first half for Huron. 8 points as well for Trace Wenz on a couple of threes and a nice drive to the basket. Akeem Moko leads Roosevelt with 7 in that first half. He had a nice first half. The others maybe struggled a little bit to find some consistency.
Yeah, Quick hit a couple of jumpers. Memphis Bylander, he's been really strong over the last 2 or 3 weeks here, hitting, around 15 points per game. He only had 4 points in the first half. But they played a defense on him that made it really hard for Bylander to move off the ball and to get open looks. Blake Elwine was often in his face, so that's definitely something to watch. And Jamari Tiger, he snuck a couple of buckets in as well. So, a lot of different players giving them field goals, but they are also missing a lot of open shots right now.
28-24 Huron over Roosevelt. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Huron is excellent on the road. They have a 4-2 road record. Roosevelt just 1-2 here at home. That lone win coming last week against O'Gorman.
When you look at the teams in AA, Roosevelt right now lurking, mid-bottom of that Sodak 16, but that's a team I don't think anybody wants to play. They are a team that's better than that 4-9 record right now. Played most of their tough teams early on in the season, and tonight another tough one for them.
Third quarter action underway here in Sioux Falls. Thanks for watching with us on Live Ticket TV. Here's Bubba Peterson open for 3, gets the scoring started for Huron in this second half.
3 different players now have hit a big three-pointer, and that extends the lead to their biggest lead of the game.
Micah Kranzler inside, gets it back out to Schmaus. Memphis Bylander, he had 4 in that first half for the Rough Riders. Try to feed it into Bylander, gets it off the window.
That's a tough take for Bylander. He needs to get heated up if they want to make a comeback in this one.
Ball loose on the floor, somehow corralled by the Tigers. Porsche and Huron keeping it up top. Now it's Elwine. Working against Bylander. Double comes. Back out. Colton McNeil will try a 3. Rebound by Moko.
Going 5 out to start here. Nobody in the paint.
Bylander over to Schmaus. Wide open for 3. Little too open. Rebound Trace Wenz. Wenz in transition, back out to Elwine. Elwine off the front iron. Minute and a half gone here in this third quarter. It's a 5-point lead, make it a 2-point lead for Huron after that 3 from Roosevelt to Micah Kranzler.
Yeah, Kranzler, not exactly the top threat from three-point land for Roosevelt, but sized it up and had a wide open look.
Speaking of size, Blake Elwine inside.
Hit one of his first interior baskets of the game.
Elwine in the double figures now with 10 for Huron. Schmaus guarded up top. We will have a timeout here called by Mitch Begeman and the Roosevelt Rough Riders. 5:57 to go in the third quarter. 33-29 Huron over Sioux Falls Roosevelt.
Times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
We resume action here. Roosevelt down by 4, early third quarter. Bylander back to Schmaus, working off a screen from Moko. Roosevelt keeping it outside the perimeter. Shot clock winding down. Kranzler got some space. Cannot hit another three. Elwine the board. Outlet pass to Porish. Anderson Porish to Colton McNeil in the corner. Back out to Chase. Elwine down low. Davis Chase working against Kranzler. Gets the shake, rattle, and roll.
Really like what I've seen from Davis Chase so far in this game. He's quickly got 7 points. Did a good job on the baseline, creating a nice look for himself.
Lead back to 6 for Huron. Under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Deng Quick got some space for 3 and buries it from the top of the key.
Nice little run by Roosevelt here to get back in this ball game.
Porish recorrals it. McNeil to Elwine. Skip it over. Chase will try a 3. Off the back iron. Loose ball foul on Roosevelt.
Yeah, I think Deng Quick got in there. Reached for that one. Huron getting good looks at the basket. Like I said, Davis Chase showing off some range there, doing well on the inside. Not relying on Porish and Elwine all the time.
Here is Elwine, driving baseline, back out to Porish. Porish got fouled on the elbow, and he will go to the line.
Huron doing a good job of just moving the ball around, not letting Roosevelt stay on the men that they want to, making them switch, trying to get the best possible matchups they can for their 2 big guys.
Porish with 5 points this evening. Make it 6.
All from the free throw line. He doesn't have a field goal yet tonight.
Porish came into this game as a 71% free throw shooter. He's done a nice job adding points where he can. In and out on that one. The lead is 4 with 4 minutes to go in the third period. Bylander, a little bit of a hook shot in and out.
It's the right idea. Tough to get a good shot off of Porish, though.
Porish in the corner. Ty Kleinsasser for 3. Big bucket for the sophomore off the bench.
6 threes tonight for the Tigers.
Here's Jamari Tiger. Over to Quick. This lead matches the largest Huron's had at 7. Moko, swing it over. Quick in the corner. Can't hit that triple. Rebound Elwine. Kleinsasser working against Tiger. Elwine working down low against Bylander. Fed it to Chase. Can't hit the reverse. Under 3 minutes to go in the third. Lead is still 7 for Huron. Tiger just had a tough angle. Tiger arguing for a foul. He's not going to get it.
Tough angle and good defense by Trace Wentz. He moving his feet. Didn't have to defend with his arms that time. That's what caused that turnover. Good play by Huron.
Bubba Peterson back in for Huron. Schmaus back in for Roosevelt. Peterson got ahead of the pack on the inbound.
They had the quickness that time. They don't have to worry about quickness from the other team. Look at that. Bubba Peterson beating everybody down the court.
The lead is 9 for the Tigers, 41-32 over the Rough Riders. Bylander to Skogsberg. Skogsberg got bumped. They'll get chased with the personal. Here is Skogsberg. Nails the first. You mentioned it earlier. Skogsberg, a transfer from Vermilion. Tough, big guard. Has shown some versatility. You mentioned he started earlier this season, now kind of coming off the bench.
Yeah, they will love his upside, though. And he started out the year trying to shoot maybe a few too many three-pointers. He's wrangled that in a little bit and just uses physicality to get the big points and make more of an effect on the court.
We have a full timeout here, so we will take a break as well. 2:12 to go in the third quarter. Huron 41, Roosevelt 34.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Welcome back. Good hustle from Roosevelt. Ball will stay with Huron, though. 41-34 Tigers over the Rough Riders. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Elwine on the inbounds for Huron. Elwine. Sizing up Isaiah Garong. Turnaround. Nails it. Beautiful move from Blake Elwine.
His fourth of the half. 5 now between Elwine and Porish in this third quarter, but overall, just 18 of their 43 points coming from their big two. Usually have well over half their points.
Tiger, that's a deep three. Peterson with the long rebound for the Tigers. Trace Wenz. Offensive rebound by Kleinsasser.
That's something actually we haven't seen a lot of his offensive rebounding in general from either one of these two teams. There's been a lot of back and forth. See what they do with the extra chance.
Elwine, skip pass back out. Peterson buries the three. Good inside-outside action from Huron.
Love to see that from Blake Elwine. He is like a magnet, just the defense gravitates toward him, and did a great job of finding the open man.
Tiger responds in kind with a triple of his own.
His first three of the game. He's the leading three-point shooter for Roosevelt. We'll see if he gets going.
Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. It's a 9-point edge for Huron, 46-37. Elwine down low, the reverse.
Wow. Starting to heat up.
He's up to 14 now. Schmaus, the kick out. That three is good from Isaiah Garong. Final 15 seconds here for Huron and Roosevelt. Kleinsasser for three. Trying to chase down his own rebound and does. Time winding down. Porish, Kleinsasser at the horn.
Oh.
In and out.
All of a sudden, we got a long ball party going on here, Dave.
And it is a 3-possession game for Huron. The Tigers lead the Rough Riders 48-40. We will take a quick timeout and be back with fourth quarter action right after this.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
(48-40) Huron over Sioux Falls Roosevelt. Fourth quarter coming up. David Brown, Jason Andera with you here. Huron started to separate themselves a little bit in that third quarter, Jason.
Yeah, they were shooting well from the outside. They've hit 7 threes in this game, and Roosevelt, usually a much better shooting shooting team from three, has only hit 4. And really, to me, that's what the difference was in the third quarter, the shooting from the outside.
Home team finds itself down by 8 entering the final 8. Skogsberg tried to go up and under, but Elwine's long arms got in there.
Exactly. He can play some defense, too.
Bylander to Moko. Deng quick from the elbow, in and out.
That's a good shot for Roosevelt. Just couldn't knock it down. That's kind of been the story of this team, shooting from the outside. It's tough to get good looks on the inside against these big guys for Huron.
Elwine from the baseline. He has been fantastic in this second half.
Yeah, he's got 8 points just in this second half, 16 so far in the game.
In the corner, Memphis Bylander. Can't hit the 3. Elwine the board. Looking for Elwine on the block.
Oh, one-on-one. Oh,
no double, but the double does come late.
He's got to recognize he's got one-on-one and go right at it.
Here's Schmaus. Down low, Moko. Foul on the floor. Isaiah Garong will check in for Roosevelt. Schmaus will take a seat. Here's Quick. Down low to Moko. Moko, nice spin and the bucket. First basket of the second half for Akeem Moko.
Yeah, I haven't seen Moko that quick all season long. He is determined to score the basket.
Gets this back to a single-digit game at 8, 50-42, with 6:10 to go in the ball game. We'll have a reach-in foul here on the Rough Riders.
Is that going to be Bylander? He was guarding Elwine.
It is.
Yep. They're trusting Memphis Bylander, especially in the perimeter, to go one-on-one with Blake Elwine, and he's made a couple of fouls. Now they switch him on to Anderson Porish.
Peterson. Good find to Porish. It was an excellent backdoor cut, and Porish will go to the line.
He had a sliver right there. He almost moved in and scored it, but made a good move, getting to the free throw line again. He's got all his points from the free throw line in this game.
Porish with 6 points on the evening, and as you said, Jandy, all of them coming from the stripe. Splashes in the first. Shamari Tiger coming in for Sioux Falls Roosevelt, replacing Memphis Bylander. Porish goes 2 for 2. We'll have a full timeout here from Huron. Exactly 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. We will take a timeout as well. 52-42. Huron with a 10-point lead over Roosevelt.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
Back to action here. Roosevelt down by 10, 52-42 with under 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Skogsberg in the corner to Garang. Decided to drive. Gets his own offensive rebound. Can't get the putback.
I was just going to say, they're looking for open shots like that, and Garang's already hit one. Decided to drive, and it doesn't pay off.
Trace Wenz will reset the offense here. Porish tried to feed it to Chase. Moko was in the passing lane.
With 5 minutes left, this is definitely not over, but I do think Roosevelt needs to heat up from three-point land.
Deng Quick cannot do so. Skogsberg, the offensive rebound. He'll go back to the line.
Yeah, he knew he was out, man, right there. Blake Elwine standing right on him. Did his best to throw up a jab step or two. And honestly, that's like the best result that Bryson could get right there is get to the free throw line.
First one good. .454 to go in the fourth quarter. Two more on the board for Roosevelt. They're down by 8. Some backcourt pressure being applied by the Rough Riders. Elwine from the baseline. A little too strong that time. Chase the O board. Can't get the putback. Third opportunity. Elwine. Can't get the triple. Fourth opportunity, but Roosevelt finally is able to get the turnover. Ahead, Tiger. Elwine with the block. These fans wanted a goaltending call. They don't get it. On the break, the feed. Chase can't get it.
Wow, back and forth we go. Two important plays by the rim is what we could say. You're right, the crowd wanted it, but just because he hits it and then it goes off the backboard, it's a legal block.
As it stands, just a couple of exciting possessions with no change in our score. Tiger. Driving inside. Reverse doesn't go. Tiger tried to steal it from behind but commits the personal.
Good hustle play that time by Tiger. Just got a piece of Wentz on that one. Then Tiger going to the bench. He's one of your best three-point options in the game. Hasn't been able to get going tonight.
Just one from downtown so far this evening for Tiger. Midway through this fourth quarter, under 4 minutes to go. Chase for three. Off the back iron, long rebound to Moko. In the corner, Garong buries it. Big basket for the Rough Riders.
They go back into that full court press. I honestly thought they'd be in this press most of the game, saving it up for the fourth quarter now.
They get a steal. Moko ahead to Schmaus. Foul was on the floor.
Garong's hit. Or was that Quick or Garong who hit that last one? Was that
Garong had the last three.
Okay, I wrote it down in the wrong spot. Because Garong now with two big second half threes, and he's had more opportunities. He's a good shooter from the outside. 6'4", can get his own shot. He might be important down the stretch.
Garong, a deep three. My goodness! Back-to-back threes from Isaiah Garong, and the Rough Riders are within two. Huron gets it into the front court. Elwine.
Take your time. Don't get rushed.
Swinging around. Porish. Top of the key. Can't hit the three. Roosevelt with all the momentum right now.
Yeah, they've got him sped up, or just like they want to. Let's see if they get another good look from the outside. They don't need it anymore. Just a 2-point game.
Bylander on the drive. He'll have a chance to tie things up at the line. First one rattles in. It's a 10-0 run for Roosevelt. We're tied at 52 with 2:27 to go. We will take a short timeout here. Tie game, 2:27 remaining.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Two minutes and 27 seconds left in the fourth quarter. We have a tie game, 52-52 between Huron and Sioux Falls Roosevelt, but it's the Rough Riders on a 10-0 run.
Well, they have a 10-0 run. I thought it would take more threes. They've only hit 2 threes in that 10-0 run, but they have played excellent defense, and they're pushing Huron to an uncomfortable part of the court, just like they are right now.
Porish can't get it across half court. It's another turnover. Skogsberg, the scoop. He'll go to the line.
Not a well-advised shot, but somehow found a way to get it up there with his left hand and get to the free throw line. But he was instrumental in that trap, making the defensive play to get the ball back.
Roosevelt has its first lead of the second half. Rough Riders 53, Huron 52, 2:13 left in the fourth quarter.
Honestly, this is what Tim Buddenhagen was worried about, is playing quick teams, that full court press, and now it's coming to fruition.
The run is 12-0 now. Rough Riders have the lead. Full court pressure still being applied. They get it to Elwine across the timeline. Down low, Bubba Peterson spins, hits. That stops the bleeding for Huron. Tim Budnagan will call a quick timeout here, 54-54. We will keep it here with 1:57 to go and a tie game, Jandy.
Yeah, Bubba Peterson, big second half for him. He came up with, 8 points in the third quarter, 2 more here in the fourth, but that last bucket was huge for them because they did it under control, and they got Blake Elwine involved in getting it past the timeline. I think that was key as well. 2 things that they hadn't been doing during that 12-0 run.
54-54, 1 minute 57 seconds left. In your mind, what's the best option for Roosevelt right now offensively?
Well, offensively, I love Isaiah Garang and the way he's shooting the ball right now, able to get it off, but they don't need threes at this point. But he's a guy who can take it to the rim as well. We've also seen Akeem Moko play a tremendous game, quick on the blocks down low. If there's a mismatch down low and he's in the game, that's another option they definitely have to go to. Bryce Skogsberg has been hitting it from the free throw line, but he's somebody who has not hit a lot of 2-point field goals. Memphis Bylander also not a guy who's made a lot of shots today. He's just been outmanned. So look for Moko, look for Garang here in the fourth quarter.
Skogsberg, Moko, Garang all have 9 points apiece. Bylander 8, so some balanced scoring here for Roosevelt. 1 minute and 50 seconds to go in a tie game, 54-54. Skogsberg got caught up, tried to feed it to Schmaus, intercepted by Bubba Peterson. Turnover forced by the Tigers.
Plenty of time here.
Peterson weaving through traffic. Elwine on the drive, the hang, can't finish. Chase, offensive rebound and putback.
How about Chase? Does not look like a sophomore in there making tough baskets, giving Huron the lead.
We will keep it here. 30-second timeout from Tim Budnagan. 56-54, 1:16 to go as the Tigers regain the edge, Jandy.
Yeah, Chase has been huge tonight, and we talked about it coming into the game. It's been Elwine, it's been Porish. Over 50% of the team scoring between those two. And tonight, Chase, it's not only the points that he's made, it's when he's made them. The last couple times down the court, we've seen Bubba Peterson make a big shot. We've seen Davis Chase make a big shot. That will help Blake Elwine if they need him down the stretch.
Chase with an excellent game off the bench, 6'7" sophomore.
He's got 9.
Had 7 in their victory against Yankton last week. Roosevelt has climbed all the way back, now find themselves down 2 here with 1:10 to go. Schmaus on the drive, the hang, and the finish. Tough take by C.J. Schmaus. We are tied with less than a minute to go.
Wouldn't have been in my top 5 of choices if I'm Mitch Begeman, but he's tough.
Peterson got tripped. 48.6 seconds left. Tied at 56.
We've seen a lot of close scores in this game. A run in the third quarter from Huron, a run in the fourth quarter from Roosevelt, and now we're back to that back-to-back, up and down the court, not knowing who's going to take control and momentum in this game.
Colton McNeil on the inbound for Huron. To Elwine. Elwine working off the screen. The drive. He's triple teamed. Working through. They're going to call the foul on Moko.
Yeah, with that many guys around him, Elwine still has the height advantage, and that's dangerous. He could have lost the ball, but finds a way to pick up the foul and get to the free throw line. This is one of Blake Elwine's specialties, getting to the free throw line. He does it almost 10 times a game, but this is his first time tonight.
And it's off the back iron, a 78% free throw shooter coming in. We have another quick timeout here from Mitch Begeman and Roosevelt. Once again, we will keep it here.
38 seconds left here, Dave. Huron has a chance to take a 1-point lead, and then they've got to match the defensive intensity that we've seen from Roosevelt in this game. They got to find a way to get the ball back and have possession when we get to, that last possession time, because right now with 38.7, they should get at least one more possession with the ball. And if there's an odd number of score here, that's probably how this thing will end.
We'll see if Begeman's timeout ices Elwine. He missed the front end. Now he's got to focus on getting this one to give Huron the lead.
You mentioned it. He's really one of the better free throw shooters in the state. He's probably made more than anybody in AA because he gets to the line so often and shoots at almost an 80% clip. Very high for AA basketball.
Elwine has a game-high 16 points. Looking to make it 17 here on this free throw. One timeout left for each side, by the way. The second from Elwine. Gets it to go. It dies on the back of the iron, but falls. 57-56, Huron with a 1-point edge, 35 seconds left. 3-second difference, shot clock and game clock. Down low, Garong wide open for two. Roosevelt retakes the lead, 58-57. And then Memphis Bylander, for some reason, commits a personal foul.
And with the 5 fouls, that sends him right to the free throw line. And the one guy you don't want to send, but go back to that back cut. Garong, we talked about him being a threat on the outside. Huron was overplaying him outside, and when he made the back cut, was wide open.
So now it's Elwine back at the stripe, where a moment ago he went 1 for 2. We're tied again. 24 and 3/10 seconds left. And Mitch Begeman is going to use his final timeout here in between free throws.
I think he's all right with that. He's going to let this thing play out. He's probably expecting Elwine's going to make this last shot, and then they have possession to do what they want. I don't think they're going to try to run the clock down by any means. They're just going to look for their best shot whenever they can. So he's thinking we probably don't need another timeout at this point. We're going to live or die with what we get when we get the ball back.
58-58, 24 and 3/10 seconds left. Elwine has one more free throw. He's up to a game-high 18 points individually.
That was another key to the game for Mitch Begeman coming into the day, is not letting Elwine get to the free throw line. They've done a great job of that until the last minute here when he has earned a couple of trips to the stripe.
And you wonder about Roosevelt, all the close games they've played recently. Their last 3 losses by a combined 8 points. Their most recent game was a 1-point loss to Jefferson. They've been in these situations before.
You need a closer, and that's one thing, in years past they've had a guy. And this year they've got a great team. Who's going to be the guy down the stretch right now? Is it going to be Memphis Bylander? Is it going to be Isaiah Garang being the senior?
One more free throw for Blake Elwine. We're tied at 58. Can he untie it? He cannot.
Oh!
Fight for the loose ball. Garong has it. 20 seconds left. Skogsberg all the way! Roosevelt leads 60-58. There's 10 seconds to go.
Take the timeout. Nope.
McNeil. Peterson inside with the left. No! Tip. Out of bounds. It will stay with Huron. 1 and 2/10 seconds remaining.
Should be closer to 2 on the clock here. Akeem Moko going to check in to play some defense. But that entire last 10 seconds, Blake Elwine doesn't touch the ball. He wasn't double teamed. You got to find a way to get your best player the ball in the last moments. There, they do put 1.9 back on the clock.
But how about Bryson Skogsberg going all the way?
You see the potential that kid has, and he's got ice in his veins. He's the guy who wants the ball at the end of the game, and that's a great sign. But he has not been your star this night. What a shot, taking it straight to the rack.
Roosevelt 60, Huron 58, 1 and 9/10 seconds left. Tim Budenhagen uses his final timeout to drop one final play.
Well, if there's a coach that you want drawing up a final play with 1.9, I think it's Tim Budenhagen. He's probably got a million choices here, and he's got the two tallest players in this game coming right now. Look for some kind of screen or a double screen to get one of his big guys open near the basket, and then let them either take it strong or they can have time to make a move before they have to go right up. Maybe get to the free throw line.
Roosevelt was down 10 in this fourth quarter. They have a 2-point lead with a shade under 2 seconds to go.
Look for Akeem Moko, number 11 for Roosevelt, to be the primary defender. He's got the most length, he and Isaiah Garang, but they're going to patrol the middle. Nope, they're going to take Moko out. He's going to go right on Davis.
It is Colton McNeil on the inbounds for Huron. 1 and 9/10 seconds left.
There's the pick. There's Elwine.
Back out. Elwine for the win. No! Off the back iron. Roosevelt comes back from double digits and takes this one 60-58.
I thought for sure they would get something going to the hoop. A little bit of a surprise to see Elwine break out, but he had a good look at it. I mean, he had a good look. And they know if Elwine's going to get the ball on the arc, he's going to be able to get his own shot. So I guess that's a good look. Elwine just didn't get enough arc on the ball.
What a fantastic game. What a comeback for Roosevelt. They were down 52-42 early in this quarter. They outscore Huron the rest of the way, 18-6. And a big win for Mitch Begeman's crew. They improved to 5-9 overall, while Huron falls to 8-4.
How about Isaiah Garang off the bench with the big second half, getting all his points, 11 points in the second half, and Bryson Skogsberg getting all of his points except for 3, and he went into double digits in the second half, including what ended up being the game winner.
You saw a bunch of balanced scoring. You mentioned Garang, Skogsberg off the bench. Quick had some nice shots. On a night where Memphis Bylander was okay, maybe not the Memphis Bylander we're used to seeing, Roosevelt gets depth scoring, and it keys them to this comeback victory. Correction, Huron falls to 8-5 now. Roosevelt improving to 5-9. Huron will be back at home on Friday against Spearfish. Roosevelt, they will be back here at home 1 week from today, February 11th, as they take on Brookings. Final thoughts on this one?
I just think this could spark Roosevelt going into now mid-February, down the stretch, the one team on the sub-500 list that you don't want to see. They proved it tonight, getting a big home win against a top-5 team and doing it with balanced scoring, Akeem Moko playing much better, and the defense in that fourth quarter was unbelievable.
Roosevelt 60, Huron 58. Game-winning layup from Bryson Skogsberg with about 15 seconds left propels the Rough Riders to victory. Thanks to our entire production crew here with 605 Sports and Live Ticket TV. For Jason Andera, I am David Brown. Thank you and good night from Sioux Falls.